I think it was in some ways unexpected because so many countries around the world, especially in Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean, had fought for independence and fought to in some ways end their links with Britain, the monarchy, and so on. But in some ways, she was quite remarkable in assisting in the transition from empire, which obviously was a colonial construct, to the Commonwealth, which was more a voluntary meeting of all these of many different countries around the world.
So give us a sense of how the Queen dealt with and reacted to those former colonies becoming republics, particularly after the war with India, Sri Lanka, Malaya gaining independence.
Well, interestingly, the Commonwealth actually has a majority of countries that are republics today, more than realms like Australia. And in many ways, part of the reason for her success, you could argue, in the role was because she was the same generation as many of the people that fought for independence, such as Nehru, Nkrumah, Mandela, Norman Manley, these sorts of people around the world. She was Julius Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda. They were the similar generation to her. So even though they fought against Britain and British colonialism, they still saw that she was nonetheless welcoming them into this organisation.
And how integral was she to the Commonwealth throughout the decades, and how do you see her influence changing throughout this time, particularly in the last maybe 30 years, if you look at it that way?
Well, I suppose because her reign was so long, at the beginning she was very active, and in recent decades, especially in the last few years, she's been less so because of her what was her very long age. So in some ways, there was a gap in terms of the activity, and so this is a crucial stage where Prince Charles will have now King Charles will have a difficult challenge to try and keep the organisation going.
That's right. I mean, that's the next question I was going to ask. How will he be regarded in maintaining the sense of commonality among Commonwealth states? How much of a change do you think we'll see?
Well, she was respected greatly across the Commonwealth and by the leaders of the Commonwealth, and she made it her express wish when they last met in London that King Charles, would succeed her. So that doesn't obviously necessarily mean he will be respected now that he is head of the Commonwealth. So we'll have a big task ahead to try and show his value to them and them to him.
And may I ask you, what are some of your fondest memories of Queen Elizabeth?
Well, I, as an historian, I find it fascinating seeing how she mingled with so many leaders from generations of leaders, generations of Trudeaus, generations of Bandaranayakas, generations of Nehru Gandhis. So she really in one person personifies for me someone who shows the difficult transition from empire to independence and somehow managed to keep an amicability, a cordiality where it could have been much more fraught and contested with different parts of the once colonial world.
And do you think that will be possible for King Charles and future monarchs?
It will be a big challenge because it is a different world we live in today, and so it will be difficult, but it's not impossible.
Okay, Dr. Harshan Kumarasingham, really good to get your insights in this. Thanks very much.
Thank you.